Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome back to our Career Talks. I am Sylvie Gompe, and you know about me. I am the founder of Impact, a firm that is there to help youth to be more resilient, to be more respectful, and also to be more responsible. We know that we launched the career call to help youth and other people to get connected with the different careers that are available for them. And we have these professionals who come online. They come with passion to explain how they do their own job, their challenges, and the path that they took to be there. They will be here for you. They will be here for us because they love to share their passion. And today I'm delighted to have as guest speaker my friend, my buddy, my support sister, Leila Kiga. Leila Kiga is a blogger, a journalist for profession, a certified personal branding strategist and business coach at Kara Communication, an entrepreneur and self-taught tech enthusiast. She's the coordinator of Shine a Light Africa, an initiative that focuses on advocating for the restoration of the woman to a rightful place in every realm of human life, and the manager of House of Kara, a fashion accessory brand that designs and produces premium quality shoes and accessories with bold and colorful African prints. Their purpose is to help strong women thrive, carry those who walk in purpose, inspire and encourage them to walk, talk, and sit and laugh differently. Leila is one of the few purpose-driven Cameroonians who are building brands that empower, boost confidence, and champion the achievement of the core goals of entrepreneurs. She's very passionate about and strongly advocates self-love and body acceptance. She also believes in the power of branding and passionate about empowering female-owned brands. Please welcome Leila Kiga to talk about branding in a career. Leila, I give you the floor. Thank you very much. Leila, I have a problem with your sound. Leila, your sound. Sound. Leila, your sound. Yes, check the sound, please. I can hear you. No. No sound. Yes. Excuse us for a moment. Leila will be checking her sound. No, Leila, we can't hear you. She'll be back soon. Meanwhile, I still say Happy New Year to everyone. You know that we will have 25 minutes of presentation with Leila, and you will use the chat for the questions. Leila, can you? Yes, that is perfect now. Please, welcome on board.
Oh, thank you so much. And I was saying Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. So sorry about that. All right. Technology in Africa is an amazing experience. And I'm so happy to be with you all this morning. And it is really a privilege. Sylvie, thank you for this opportunity to be sharing this with this amazing audience you've had to build over the year. And I want to spend the next few minutes. I have 25 minutes to spend with you guys, and I really want us to get value out of it. So we're getting ready to start. And like Sylvie said, this is what we're going to be talking about, branding as a career option. All right? Branding as a career option. It is one of those professions that are going to be or are gradually becoming the in thing, like they would say in the job market today. And if you position yourself right now, you're definitely going to make the most out of this because it's not yet saturated like people think. All right. So we're going to be talking about branding as a career option. And these are the key points of our presentation this morning. The very first thing is we're going to define what branding is. And then we're going to find out and answer the question, why should we choose branding as a career? And then how do we get there and the different professions you can have in this field? And then we're going to look at some key points to remember. And then finally, we're going to be answering questions. All right. So let's get straight to it. We're just going to go straight to it. And the very first thing is, what is branding? That's the first question I'm going to be answering. But before I get to that, I want you to help me in the chats. Just tell me, when you hear branding, what comes to your mind? All right. The next 1 or 2 minutes, just type out in the chats what you think branding is.
Use the
just
chat.
Going to give you a couple of minutes to do that.
You don't have to be shy.
Yes, please.
You don't have to be shy because it has to be interactive. If it's not interactive, Leila will be leaving. Please tell us, what do you think about branding?
Yeah. Next few minutes, let's hear your thoughts. And there is no wrong answer, please. So don't think that what you have in mind might not be it. There is no wrong answer. All right. Just let us know in the chat what branding is to you before we get into the heart of the discussion.
Branding is
the are there French speaking
yourself. Okay. Claire says, branding is the image you give yourself. Ruth says,
awesome. Wow, awesome. Great. Those are interesting answers. Thank you, ladies. Those are really interesting answers. All right. We have two, and we're going to give a few seconds, and then we're going to get into the heart of it. I love your answers, ladies. You guys are so right. So right.
Anyone else?
All right. So while we wait for any other person to answer, I think we're going to get into the heart of it for the sake of time. Yeah. I love your answers, really. Ruth and Claire, you guys are really right. All what you said are all components of this vast world we call branding. All right. And in this first phase, we're going to look at what branding is in marketing, and then the types of branding you should know about. So for definition, very, very basic definition is branding is the process of giving a meaning to specific organizations, company, products, or services by creating and shaping a brand in consumers' minds. All right. This is a strategy that is designed by organizations to help people to quickly identify, one, and two, experience their brands. And that's why we talk about it giving a specific meaning. Meaning you want to make it stand out, like Ruth said, and then you want to create an experience or build an image or an impression in people's minds, like Claire said. That's what the process of branding is. Branding is the process. It is what takes you to the point where you can stand out, and it's what takes you to the point where you have an image that people really, really can recognize and identify you with. All right? So that's what branding as a whole is. There's so many definitions that have been given, but the most important thing is that at the end of the day, consumers should identify and experience that brand, be it an organization, be it a company, be it a product or a service, in a specific way. A specific way. It could be an emotion, it could be a meaning, it could be a product, it could be anything. By the end of the day, we want you to stand out amongst the crowd. All right. One very, very quick question again before we go on. Now, based on this definition, can you give me an idea or an example of a popular brand that pops to your mind as we're speaking? Just tell me in the chat anything that you love consuming because of the way it stands out, maybe by the image you have in your mind, or by the adverts you've seen everywhere, or by the way it looks beautiful, whatever means you want to use to describe it. Can you type in the chat brands that you consume because of the image they've given themselves? Just type that in the chat. Any brand you've consumed or you're consuming. I will give you my own example. I consume a lot from the Apple brand because it's a brand that has left a lot of impression on my mind. They're user-friendly. They are very, very they're very, very easy to manipulate, though so many people think that it's complex. they are dynamic, they've adapted with the times, and they are one of the tools that an entrepreneur in today's economy should leverage. And so the Apple brand is one of the brands that I consume a lot. And so tell me your own in the chat.
I agree with you, Leila. I am an iPhone consumer. I am a Mac consumer. Yes, Apple is definitely a brand that I'm using.
Awesome. That's right. Okay. So there's so many brands that you can consume. Yes.
Ruth say Unilever.
Okay, the Unilever. All right, the Unilever brand. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, Anthony, I feel you.
Sarah
I
Fancy.
feel you because that's a brand. Yes, Sarah, I feel you because that's a brand I consume. All those brands I consume. Goodness me, we have amazing brand consumers here. You know, yeah.
Elizabeth Fon said, McDonald's burgers.
Ooh, wow, that's an amazing brand. That's one of the brands that really stand out, right? Even in an economy where it is not consumed like Cameroon, if you ask a Cameroonian about McDonald's, you'll be surprised at how much they can tell you about it, even though it's not a brand that is established in Cameroon. That's simply because they have been able to position themselves as one of those family-oriented and affordable brands that you can't miss out when you have the opportunity. That's the power of branding, right? That you can even be consumed in an economy that you will not even found. You can be known and appreciated in an economy where you're not even consumed, which means by the time you step into that market, you would be ready to take over the market. So I really love your examples, amazing examples. So, all right, and this is what Kotler and Keller said in an article. This is a book written by Kotler and Keller in 2015. That branding is endowing products and services with the power of a brand. All right. So branding is taking products and services that might look ordinary, that might look like every other thing in the market, but because you're able to leverage its uniqueness, that's its relevance and its differentiation in the market space, you are giving it a place of its own where people can consume it amongst the crowd. All right. So the brands you've been naming, it's not like they're the only brands, right? For example, we spoke about the Apple brand. There's so many other brands with gadgets, you know. But in the market, these people have succeeded in putting themselves in a place where their consumers identify them as the ones that produce or provide the absolute best and meet their needs at that level. And so you can see people queue up on lines as early as 1 a.m. to go and pick up an Apple 12 phone, whereas the one they had yesterday probably is functioning so well, but because the brand has been so leveraged and it's become some kind of say, they are ready to trade what they already have for the new one because they know it's going to meet their needs. That's how powerful branding is. That people will even buy things that they don't necessarily need because the brand is well positioned and leveraged. So it's very important. The objective is to attract and retain loyal customers. So when you do that, when you brand effectively, know this is what you are doing for yourselves. And so next up, we're going to be looking at the different kinds of branding you should know about. This is one of the areas where a lot of people make mistakes because when they hear branding, they think about particular things or just some things and they think it is for some people. But when we go through these steps, you're going to realize that it's a broad market with a lot of components. And when you choose that which resonates with you, you're able to impact the people that you have as target. All right. So we're going to be looking at the different kinds of branding. We're going to be looking at product branding, personal branding, corporate branding, geographical branding, service branding, and co-branding. And we're going to go one after the other, and we're going to use some examples so you can understand what this is all about. All right. Many kinds of things can become brands. Like I said, anything can become a brand. The different kinds of brands, like we named there, are just products like others in the market where people have been able to leverage and stand out. All right. So the very first kind of branding is product branding, which is the most common kind of branding in the market. It's kind of the most common and the easiest. It is simply a symbol or design that identifies and differentiates a product from other products. All right? A symbol or design that identifies and differentiates a product from other products. For example, all right, I'll give you an example. Look at, for example, let's stay in the consumer market, all right, since we've been talking about consumer brands. Just tell me one product, again, one product that you can identify because of its symbol or its design. One product that even if you don't see the name, but if you see the design or if you see the symbol, you're going to say, hey, it's this brand. Can you type that out in the chat? Any brand, any product. For example, I gave the example of what I use. If I see the Apple design, right, I don't need somebody to write under Apple. When I see that design, I already know that is the brand. From afar, for example, when I see the color as well, I already know this is Apple. When I see, there's so many things about it. So type in the chat, is there any brand or any product that you can identify by one, either the symbol or the design? Type that out in the chat. Any brand, product, which simply means it could be a car, it could be a drink, it could be, all right, it could be
Domino's.
Food.
Says Domino's.
Oh, Domino's. Awesome. Domino's. Yeah, I agree with you, right? All right. Oh, this is awesome.
The yellow from Magno. Ivan says Toyota.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, the symbol. As you know, the amazing thing is when you write it out, when you're writing it out, when each person hears or reads what you're writing, the image immediately pops up in the mind, right? Immediately that image pops up in your mind. The moment you say yellow from Magno, I see it already. I see it in my mind. I don't necessarily see McDonald's written, but I see that symbol that stands for McDonald's in my mind's eyes. And so I can easily identify it anywhere, anytime. So that's what you use to identify and to differentiate your product from the others. And this is what a lot of companies use. And this is what many people think branding is only about. And so a lot of people spend their time wanting to build their logos. That's the most common, right? And the amazing thing with it is their symbol is their name, right?
Yeah.
That was the most wise choice Coca-Cola could make, choosing the symbol and making sure it's their name. So you see, at times, giving your brand a very simple identity can be the power that will leverage your brand at times, not all the time. So those are amazing examples that you give. So now you know what product branding. So when you see brands or when you see products that you can easily identify based on the symbol and the design, know that these are fruits or these are things that happened when somebody took out time to brand the product. All right, took out time to brand this product. And the second type of branding is personal branding. All right, a person can be considered a brand. It can be comprised of one individual, or it may be composed of a few individuals where the branding is associated with different personalities. This is one of the areas of branding as well. And this is the area where I specialize. All right. This is the area where I specialize. So I want to ask you a question, and I also want you to type that out in a chat. All right. Can you give me the name of a person that you can identify as a personal brand? Give me an idea of a person that you think is a personal brand or has a personal brand. Give me a name or somebody you think has a personal brand or somebody that you identify because of the way they have positioned themselves and the way they look and the way they present themselves to the public, and people reach out to them. Just write out in the chat, do you know of any personal brand? I'll give you a very popular example so I can set the pace. There's Oprah Winfrey, right?
I wanted to say that.
When they say Oprah Winfrey, yeah, that's amazing. I think that's one of the strongest female brands on earth so far. There are others that are really as strong as her, but she is one of the most powerful personal brands that exists on earth so far. And her name alone is we'll call it some kind of a carrier of her person, her personality, the things she does, the way she does it, Her name carries this. When you call the name Oprah, you're not seeing a person that is standing in front of you. All right. You're seeing an enterprise. You're seeing personalities. You're seeing values. You're seeing traits. You're seeing skills. You're seeing talents. You're seeing all of these under the umbrella of that name, Oprah Winfrey. So that's how powerful a personal brand can be as well. Unlike product brands where you use just symbols and maybe other forms of identification, a personal brand is an individual or a group of individuals. All right. So we're talking about the human side of it all. So those are really, really amazing. That's an amazing example there. Yeah. So
Ivan said,
yeah, and your answers. Anybody typed anything about different kinds of brands? Oh yes, those are great brands, right? Nelson Mandela, powerful guy. I love his books as well. Those are amazing brands. I mean, Dale Carnegie has outlived generations, right? He has outlived generations. Yeah. Nelson Mandela still speaks though he is gone. That is how strong a human brand can be. All right. And just before we move on from this, we're having a website, a webinar. I don't know what I'm calling it, website. We're online. We're having a workshop coming on next week with Impact. Amazing workshop. And if you're here, you're a lady and you're looking at building your brand, because we're going to be focusing on ladies in this new year. We want to see how you can leverage this power of a personal brand in this economy. All right. We'll be having a workshop 1 week from now on building personal brands as females, not only entrepreneurs, corporates, students in every field that you want to get into. I encourage you to get in touch with Sylvie, all right? And you are going to get all the information you need for that workshop. I can't wait to be there myself. So let's move on. There's corporate branding. Now, this is the one that a lot of people have been doing. And this is where many people say there is the big box, all right? I don't really know, but this type of branding is used by businesses, all right? Businesses can be corporations, companies, businesses in general, interested in creating and maintaining a good reputation, all right? Interested in building, you create and you maintain a good reputation. It can cut across the organization's services, their products, their employees, their corporate culture, as well as their corporate social responsibility. Branding a company is a whole world on its own. You want to make sure that whatever you have as the guiding values and principles that uphold that company, you want to make sure that it is seen and felt across the brand. So when people experience these different aspects of the brand, that reputation, all right? Reputation, that's another word for branding. Branding, in other words, is called reputation. And that reputation is top-notch. You want to make sure that if I experience your product and your product is one great product that I can use, I should equally have the same experience when I get into your company and maybe meet your staff in your company, all right? That value, the corporate value and everything that company stands for should be reflected across the board. And so that's why they need branding to ensure that this reputation is created and is maintained, all right? Because when there is a negative impression on the company's brand, it's going to affect everything about that company. It could be a staff, just one staff in that company who does something that is out of place, and the entire brand or the entire company goes in for it. That's how important branding is across the board. So that's what corporations do. They make sure they hire branding experts to ensure that the values and the principles of the company are inculcated in each sector, and they ensure that it is maintained. All right. This is one that is very common. We have so many corporations here in Cameroon that do that. Not to do a lot of publicity. They have to pay us for all this publicity. We're calling all these names here. Not to do that. They really have to pay us for this publicity. There is MTN Cameroon. I mean, across the board, you see they try to make sure that what they say they stand for, they make sure it is reflected across the board. And there are several other corporations that do that, small like big. So that's what corporate branding is basically about. And then the next kind of branding, which many of you might not know, is geographical branding. And this one is very, very important for nations especially because this is a type of branding that is used for specific services and products that are peculiar to a particular region. All right. So let me ask you a question. Just type that out in the chat box. If I were to ask you, what is Cameroon known for? What would you say? Type it out in the chat box. What is Cameroon known for? Yes. What is Cameroon known for? Type it out in the chat box and let me see. What do you think the world knows Cameroon for? Let's hear it in the comments.
Okok, Clea, yes, oh, Okok.
Oh, God. Clea. Okok. Cameroon is known for. All right, but Cameroon, yes, football. All right, that's one of the most popular, right? Cameroon is known for football. Have you ever chatted with somebody online? Exactly. Have you ever chatted with someone online who doesn't know Cameroon and the first thing they say, yes, Samuel Eto'o or Roger Mila? Have you ever had that kind of experience? That's because that's what the world has known Cameroon for in the past, right? Cameroon has been known as a football nation. And so Cameroon as a nation can leverage this identity and brand Cameroon as a football nation, as a sports-oriented nation, as whatever they want to. All right, they can use that to leverage the country. All right, so that is how powerful this is also for nations and even regions. I enjoy the way Clea said Okok. Okok, that is what is consumed in a particular region in Cameroon, and that region can decide to use that identity to make itself all over the world. All right, use that and make sure that each time, for example, all right, besides football, I'll give you another thing. You know the red and black fabric and the blue and white fabric of Cameroon, the Togo and then the print. They usually call it the Bamileke and the Bamenda print. These are the prints that anybody in the world as of today will easily identify Cameroon with. Why? Because a lot of Cameroonians have taken on that as a national identity to the extent that the last time they were going for, I think it was Olympics or something, everybody was dressed in a traditional regalia. That is branding a nation, all right? That is giving an identity to a nation. And other nations are also branded and they're known for tourism, all right? And why do we do geographical branding? We have this to attract commerce and investment. Geographical branding is important because you attract commerce, you attract economic investment, you attract tourists, and then you attract new residents. Other people want to move into your country because of the way your country has been painted. For example, I want to move to Bora Bora because of the way Bora Bora has been painted. I've never been there. I don't know if CV has been there before to tell me.
Never.
Right? But we just love it because of the way it has been branded and the nature and everything. And we just want to go there also and spend some time. Why? Because they have given us an image that we want to consume. And also, when we go there, that is empowering the tourism national sector of the country. And secondly, that is equally bringing in finances into the nation, which is one of those things that really nations explore and use. Somewhere like Dubai, the tourism sector is one of the highest sector that has brought in income into that country because of the way they branded and they sold themselves to the world. So it's very good. So if you're from a region that has something that is peculiar, like the Okok, make sure you can start it for your region, right? You can start it and say, I'm going to make my region known for this all over the world. And you'll be surprised at the I can assure you. You'll be so surprised. So I want to encourage you to do that and to make sure that you get that working. All right. So we're going to go to the next because I need to be looking at my time, which is service branding. Okay. This is a kind of branding that is used by companies when they want to move from manufacturing their products to delivering complete solutions and intangible services.
Leila, we are having a problem with the tone. We don't understand what you're saying. There's an issue. We can't listen to what you're saying. Am I the only one? I think you have muted something. Leila, we can listen. How about our audience? Can you hear what she's saying, or I'm the only one? Oh, Leila, we can't hear you. Leila will be surely coming back. Meanwhile, dear audience, please, can you use the chat to start asking your questions, because she will finish her presentation soon, and then she'll have to answer the questions.
All right.
Leila is back. Thank you, Leila.
Oh, so sorry, guys. All right. I really don't have time. Okay. I could talk. CV knows I can talk to you tomorrow. So let's get this snappy. Like I said, service branding is what most people use. All right. Most companies use it. Professional services, you can management, consultancy, all of these. This is the kind of branding they do. They to start from the manufacturing right up to the retail and even to the customer service for their products. This is what they leverage for their businesses. All right. And then there is co-branding, which is just associating the brands of two or more companies with a specific product or service. This is where two brands come together and work on a specific product, and then they leverage that. All right. They leverage that into the market together. I can't get into the details of this because we really need to get into the heart of this chat. All right. So why choose a career in branding? This is very, very important. We're just going to go through it snappy, snappy, snappy. Very first reason, it is a dynamic industry. All right. The face of marketing is forever changing, which means that you will not stagnate in your career, but will be at the forefront of new and exciting trends. This is what is amazing. When it comes to branding and marketing, there's always excitement. There are new things that are popping up, there are new demands, there are new challenges, and you will never stagnate or get bored. All right. You always have something new to do because you always be seeking for new solutions, new products. Okay. Second thing, you will connect with new people. Being a brand expert means that you will be dealing with new people on a daily basis. You'll be making it the perfect career for a people person. And so if you're that kind of person and you say you love networking, interacting with people, this is something you can consider as a career. All right, because you will be dealing with people on a regular basis. You want to talk with people, you want to know their needs, you want to meet their needs, and then you want to take their needs to their solutions to the market. And when you take it to the market, you're going to interact with more people who are going to be consuming these products. And so it's a people-based a career, and it's really, really amazing. All right. And the third thing is you can use your creativity. This is one of the things that I love. You'll be able to use your creative thinking to come up with innovative solutions for your clients. This is where you can let your creativity run wild. You can give the best of you. You can dig and bring out that innermost thing that's going to make that person's brand stand out. And it's an amazing thing. And the next is there are good opportunities for career progression. You can grow from one level to the other, just like you can grow from one kind of branding sector to another, right? You can start as one kind of brand expert, and as you grow in experience and all that, you can decide to change because you want to narrow your niche or you want to get something else, or you can even become the head of department, all right? There is always good opportunity for career progression. And then it is vital to all businesses and industries. All right. There is little or no industrial business that does not need branding, which means you will never battle to find work as a branding expert. I can assure you there are businesses that are being born every day, especially now with the COVID situation and everything, and with the corporate market and the job market changing, and the workplace changing. Workplace culture is also changing. A lot of people are getting into self-employment and entrepreneurship and all of that. There will always be businesses and industries to brand. So you will never lack work. Never. There'll always be work for you. There'll be somebody somewhere that needs to make a product work. All right. And exciting and dynamic is the last one. You will find yourself dealing with and creating brand strategies for new clients, posting social media campaigns for a new product, pitching ideas to your bosses, and thinking outside of the box every day of the working week. There are no similar days when you are in this career. Each person's need is different. Each person's challenge is different. Even if their problem might be they want visibility, which means they want to be known, you will realize that the way they will get visibility is different from the way another person is going to get it. So you're always going to have that excitement that is going to keep you awake and keep you working. So it's a career option that I would encourage those of you who have these traits we're talking about to consider. And that brings us to the last aspect of this talk, which is brand marketing jobs and how to get there. All right. There are so many brand marketing jobs. I can't even begin to list them. There are over 15 of them if I want to use titles. All right. If I want to use just titles, there are over 15 of them. Some are sub under these main categories I've just listed, and some of them are auxiliaries. There are so many of them, but I want to talk about these 4 main ones because you'll find the others inside, and how you can set yourself on this path if this is a path you want to consider as a career option. The very first one is a brand manager. All right. This is what a lot of companies have. For example, you hear brand manager Orange, brand manager MTN, brand manager NAO, brand manager. You hear all of that all the way. These are people who work across all sectors. All right. They are responsible for maintaining and increasing market shares by cultivating a positive image of the product and services they represent. Brand managers work across every sector of the company, which means they ensure that what they do impacts every sector of the company. So a brand manager, though under the marketing department of a company, has influence on management, has influence on the commercial, has influence on sales, every other thing. They have influence because they have the job to increase the market share, and they do this by cultivating a positive image. They are the ones who come up with the image concept, what the image of the company should look like and how it should be branded. And for you to get into this as a career, the very first thing you should consider is a degree in marketing, advertising, communication, business, or a related field of study, right? No, branding is one of the I don't want to call it sub, but branding is part of marketing. And so when you have a degree in marketing, or you have a degree in advertising, communications, and business, these fields already prepare you for such a job description, all right? And if you have a master's degree in business administration, it's a plus, because besides mastering your field, you equally know how to manage a business, which is very, very important. So if you are considering these are things you should take into consideration, and you should be creative and analytical. You should be you should be an experienced researcher, all right? Campaign management is a place you should have an experience. Digital marketing, negotiation, collaboration. These are some of those skills that you should have. Very important for you, all right? And the second main category is the brand strategist, all right? And this is where I fall, all right? They work closely with brand managers, marketing specialists, and social media managers to develop methods to enhance a brand's visibility and market share. All right. So when the brand manager has the job, he looks for somebody who is a brand strategist. All right. And the brand strategist is the one that actually comes up with the strategy. That's why they call them strategists. They come up with a strategy that can help increase the market share and can enhance the visibility. All right. So these are major career titles and career positions you can consider in this sector. All right. So wide variety of educational backgrounds ranging from marketing to fields in the humanities. This is why I love this. All right. I have a journalism and mass communication background. That's my background. So when it comes to communication, PR, advertising, that's my background. I have certifications in personal branding because it's a plus in my field. A certification in business coaching because it's a plus in my field. I equally have courses from Wharton University on marketing, introduction to marketing. These are important things, all right, because companies will look for brand strategists who have at least degrees, a bachelor's degree. Okay, so having a bachelor's degree from marketing and the fields of humanities. The field of humanities is just like we said, all right. It has to do with people. It can be law. It can be political science, it can be sociology, anthropology. Those are all fields of humanities. When you have this wide variety of background, you are good to go as a brand strategist. You should be a great communicator. That's why my background as a journalist is important. Analytical, equally, it comes from that background. Strategic planning, storytelling comes from that background. Written and verbal communication comes from that background as well. Forecasting, you should be able to know how this brand is going to look like in the market, how what you're going to do is going to be positioned, and the effects it's going to have if it is positioned this way. You should be able to do that. And the third major category is brand consultant. They help organizations forge an identity and promote it effectively. All right? A brand consultant will help you forge an identity. So when you come to a consultant is telling you the identity, or is helping you craft an identity. All right, he's going to come up with your identity, which will have to do with your values, everything that your brand is all about, and then he's going to come up with how you want it to be represented as an image and all of that, and then he's going to give you his research work and the results, and you will take it to your strategist. All right, there's some consultants that double as strategists. They do it across the board, because a lot of people mix up consulting job, coaching job, and a lot of people mix them up. All right, so all right, let me know. Can you hear me, Sylvie? Can you hear me?
Perfect, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. I just wanted to get some reaction. All right, so to be a brand consultant, bachelor's degree in a field such as marketing or business is very important as well. So you realize marketing and business keeps reoccurring, right? So a graduate degree can increase your employment prospects, which is a master's degree and all of that. Resumes with good deal of previous experience in sales, advertising, or product management can be an asset. All right, that is at the higher level. All right, so at the higher level of maybe you want to get into a management position, that you want to be part of the board of directors, besides getting a bachelor's degree, if you have this experience across this field, it's a plus for you. And one of the skills you should have: excellent written and verbal communication, creativity, media and online savvy. You should know how the media functions, and you should know how digital marketing goes as well. Multitasking skills, teamwork, attention to details. These are skills you should possess. And finally, this is one of the easiest, but you won't believe the amount of money you can make from doing this, right? A brand ambassador. They make people aware of their company's product or services. This is the one I encourage everybody to be part of, even for your own business. You train yourself, you train your staff to become brand ambassadors so they can make the products and services known. That is what it is. And to qualify for this, at least a high school diploma, college courses in marketing or communications and business. These are things you can use. All right, these are skills you need. You don't necessarily need these, because what most companies do now is they look for influencers, right? A lot of companies look for influencers. For example, when you talk about Nike, you see Michael Jordan. There is no way you ever dissociate Nike from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't study marketing or communications or business in school. Michael Jordan is a perfect and great footballer who has built his personal brand in such a way that he is attracting a lot of attention, commanding a lot of attention, that Nike said, hey, if this guy can put on one of our trainers, this guy is going to bring us the market. And honestly, nobody has beaten Michael Jordan's record right up to this moment. Why? Because he was a brand ambassador that really stood. And what happened? This is the skills and talents you need. Part educator, part promoter. Interact seamlessly with anybody. Listen carefully, speak clearly, dress appropriately, and learn willingly. These are things you need to have if you want to be a brand ambassador. And so when you have these skills, and you know these are things that you have that comes to you naturally, and you know of a brand, like all the brands you guys listed that you love and you consume, you can apply to be brand ambassador, a representation of those brands, and you'll be surprised at the money you will make, even while being a student or while trying to chart your path or trying to get the job you want or start the business you want. You can start making money from this one now. All right. If you know the most popular, I can't forget the okok example. If you know the best okok cook on earth now, and you choose to represent that okok cook as the brand ambassador, and you go everywhere, you say, this is the only okok that you will eat and it will change your life. You've become the brand ambassador for the brand. You're just making it known to the public. All right, and your passion and everything will drive the public to consuming that. So it's very important. You can be a brand ambassador where you are right now if you have the skills and you have a brand that you're very passionate and you think you can represent in the market. All right, so this is where I'm wrapping up, and I want to leave you with this. If you didn't hear anything I said, then you should hear this. All right, what you need that will set you apart and leave impact in the job market and a legacy are the values you possess. All right, your core values are the beliefs that you stand for. They serve as the compass that guides your story, your action, your behavior, and your decision-making process. So for you to even choose the kind of career you want to get into, your values will play a great role. Your values will help you identify the things that stand or that represent what you stand for, so you can chart that path. You don't want to get into something that is not in sync or aligned with what you stand for. There's going to be a lack of synchronization and you're going to struggle a lot. For example, personally, I shared with you values that I uphold. Passion is one of the values that I hold. Integrity, resilience, commitment, focus, service, love, kindness, compassion. Those are values that I live my life by. And so if I know doing this thing is going to bring love, it's going to, I know it's just me sharing kindness, compassion, it's going to uphold integrity, it's going to share my passion, it's going to ignite people, I am doing it because those are values I uphold. And so as you're leaving this place, that is what I want you to be asking yourself. What are the values that I uphold, and what are the values that I want to live my life by? Because you must understand your core values. These are the heart of who you are. All right? These are the heart of who you are. When you know your values, when you understand them, charting a path, looking for a career, a business, a job, whatever stems from there, you're going to get the best. You're not going to suffer from burnout. You're not going to suffer from a job that you did not like. You're not going to get into something that you did not like, but you're going to follow the things that really make you alive, and you're going to bring, most importantly, transformation to the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Leila. Thank you for this passionate presentation. Leila, I knew that having you on board will have something different. I hope that our audience is delighted, because you went in all your passion. We can see that while you were speaking. I had to say, hey, madam, at the time before you were looking at
I know.
Thank you very much. Let's go down in the questions, because we have just 15 minutes left. And the first question was from Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah asked, first, to declare personal branding. Is it about famous people or people making impact? Personal branding.
All right. Okay, Sarah. Personal branding is not just for famous people, all right? A lot of people think personal branding is for famous people, but let me answer you this way, all right? You already have a personal brand. Whether you commit yourself to doing it or you don't, you already have a personal brand, and I'm going to prove it to you. The people you know in your life right now, they have an experience of you. They have the way they look at you. They have the way they relate with you. If someone was to ask them, what do you think about Sarah? They have particular things they're going to say about you, because that's the experience they have of you. That is your personal brand. And now the choice you have is either you consciously leverage this across different platforms frequently so people can really know that aspect of you, or you leave it to happenstance and anybody decides whatever they want to decide about you. And if somebody meets you on a bad day, and you're having a bad day, and maybe you're not your usual self, and you do something, the person might just take it and go with it and say, Sarah, vraiment, this lady, you know. So it is your duty to ensure that you leverage your brand consciously and intentionally. So it's not for famous people, and not only for people making impact. It is something for everybody, because everybody has a gift that they can gift the world with.
Thank you very much. And she's still asking, did you study branding in school? If yes, which subject did you study? I think that's right. Looking for orientation.
Yeah, all right. So this is what I did. I studied journalism and mass communication, right? That is my basis. That is where I started. I started as a journalist, mass communication. That is how I started. That's the degree I got. But along the line, I got certifications and I got diplomas in this field. All right. I got a diploma in marketing because it's something I knew I had to add to understand what this branding is all about, because it's a field in marketing. And then also I got a certification as a personal branding coach because I wanted to coach and help others. And then I got the certification as a business coach also because a lot of people who want to brand are always part of businesses. And so these are the qualifications I had myself. Yours might be different, okay? But like I said, a degree in marketing is a good place to start if you want to get into the world of branding. It sets the foundation for you, and then you can add all the others as the need arises.
That's perfect. You still asking. Interested in your in the topic. Do you think branding can stop the disappearance of culture? I think when you were talking about the dub clothes, she was really listening, and she asked, do you think branding can stop the disappearance of culture?
I totally agree with you. I agree with you. The reason why I chose to use our Cameroonian fabrics as part of my fashion brand is because I wanted to make sure our culture and our identity lives on. All right. So at any point, at any time in the world, when somebody is going to use any of those products, they have a part and a portion of this identity, of this resilience, of this multifacetedness, of this laughter, this joy that is Cameroonian, that's African. All right. This culture that is an amalgamation of so many things. So that is what I live. And so when you use branding, it has the power and the propensity to stop the disappearance of culture. Like I said, the Okok example, it can stop people from thinking it's some meal that can be eaten in just a village, and it becomes a national staple. And why not international, right? You can do that. I agree with you.
Wow. You are talking about Okok. I think that I will do some of that. Claire, please tell us what the best Okok in town.
I'm telling you, Claire needs to tell us. Okay.
Elizabeth is asking, what low-cost methods can individuals with services to offer use to brand their services? Low-cost methods.
Okay. All right. What low-cost measures? The very first thing is I will tell you something. Elizabeth, your brand, and in this job market today, the internet is the highest and the greatest tool you have. All right. Showing up online and showing up authentically with your products is the fastest way for you to brand your product. But first, remember, when you are branding your product, there is a secret many people don't know. Sell the benefits and not the features of your product. It's not going to cost you any money to show online, right? You have your internet on your phone already. You have your products on your phone and everything. You have a good phone. You just take the picture. And when you are sharing it, you are sharing the features of your product. The features is simply, what will I get when I use your product, and not what your product is made of. I am not interested in what your product is made of. What really interests me when I'm looking on the internet and I'm looking for solutions is I'm looking at what can relieve my problem right now. And when I fall on a product that says, for example, I'll give you a simple example I used on one of my posts recently. I say, sell a good night's sleep and not a mattress. All right. So if I'm looking for a good mattress for myself and I come online, somebody is telling me, oh, this mattress is orthopedic, double vested, that nail and that, I'm going to look at it and say, oh, nice. This is complex. Those words are really, really nice. And then another person comes and says, for you to have a good night's sleep, a night's sleep that is peaceful, your body aligned, no pains on the neck and all of that, this mattress is going to provide. I will go to the person who is telling me about my good night's sleep, because that's my problem. That's what I'm looking for. The person with the orthopedic might have the best, but the person who has spoken about my need and is giving me the solution is the person I will buy from. All right. So what you want to do is start talking about what I can get from you, because that's what I'm interested in. How can your product bring me to a place of fulfillment? And you'll realize that a lot of people will start buying. That's a very simple strategy. And make sure you use valuable content. Valuable content means if you have people who have used, get their testimonials and talk about it and the results it gave them. Share the experiences, share so many things, but let it be valuable, because when people begin to create the like, love, and trust factor with you, your product will become something that they will want to get.
Wow. Wow. Claire is asking, what are the steps to build your personal brand?
Awesome. Claire, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next workshop. I'm looking forward to seeing you. All right. So to build your personal brand, I'm just going to give you very basic steps. The very first thing is you want to find out who you are. All right. That is the brand foundation. When you don't understand who you are, you miss it from the beginning. And who you are is not saying, are you a girl or are you a boy? Are you Cameroonian? Are you African? No. Who you are has to do with the values I spoke about at the end of it. Your values, your skill set, your talent, your educational background, all those assets, all right? I call them your intellectual capital, all those things that come with you. What makes this person called Claire? You need to understand it, and you need to understand where your unique selling proposition is. What is that unique thing that sets Claire apart from every other person? And when you know that, the next thing is you want to find out who are the people you even want to talk to. Because if you know who you are, the next thing is when you know who you are, this is for service people. I always put this in for service people. You want to know what you have to offer, all right? Which is what I just said, your unique selling proposition. What do you have to offer? What do you have to sell to people? You must know that. If not, you can't do anything in the market. You'll be like everybody shouting, making noise, and yet no sound is coming out. And so you want to know specifically what you can give to the market that is going to be an answer to a problem. And when you know that, the next thing you want to do is, now, who needs this kind of solution? Where are they found? How can I get to them? What language are they speaking? All right? What is the pain that they are facing, that if I touch this pain now, those people will wake up and they'll find fulfillment? And then you can get to the other things that I call your brand identity. You start finding out now what colors represent this thing that you're bringing out to the market, what kind of graphics, what kind of image, how can I present myself on social media, how can I, and then finally, you can come up with a visibility plan, and you take all of what we've just spoken about, and then you can use it on the platforms you want to use it on.
Wow, thanks a lot.
I hope that answers your question. You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. You have many people on the chat saying that this was an awesome presentation. So I'm not the one saying yes. You have many people saying that. Let me read some, okay? Ivan say, whoa, to be honest, this is my first exposure to brand management. The presentation is very, very interesting.
Thank you
very much. Thanks for the presentation. I have learned a lot. So, Leila, I want to thank you for all the things that you have taught us today in just an hour. Hey, Anthony is still asking, need the same step to build a product brand?
All right. Okay, Anthony, it's very, very interesting. Branding there's something they call the 4 P's of branding. When you study branding at the marketing level, they're going to talk to you about the 4 P's of branding, all right? They're going to look at the product, they're going to look at the product, price, promotion, and all of that, all those 4 P's. The difference with personal branding is that it adds what they call the persona, which is the 5th P of personal branding. So it is the same process to build a product brand. The difference is this one is going to focus, personal branding focuses on the person, and so the persona comes in first, and then the product and the rest follows. But it's the same, it's basically the same process for branding a product. Yes.
Thanks a lot. So we are going to close our webinar today. I want to thank our 49 registered attendees. I want to say thank you to you for restarting the year with us, and I hope that you have learned many things about branding. I want to say thank you to my friend, to my body, Leila, for this awesome presentation. We can feel that you were really passionate about it. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. This is a new year, and we have to slay during the 2021. That's why next week I will have Leila conduct a workshop on personal branding. And someone asked, Rodin asked, why only ladies? Why are you not doing for men also, Leila? That's the question. But you will answer that later. Next week, we will have a workshop on personal branding, and I will encourage all the ladies to come and attend it and come out there with their own personal brand. Thank you very much, and I will see you in 1 week time for another webinar or another workshop. Leila, I give you 1 minute for the end. 1 minute. Leila, we can't hear you. Leila, we can't hear you. Leila, we can't hear you. Okay. Are you around now?
All right.
Good.
Sorry, guys.
Louder, please. Louder. It's too low.
Oh, it's too low.
Yes. No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yes, we can read that. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. This is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you very much, Leila. Thank you to our audience, and see you next week.